Hi class, this video is created so that I can help you write great constructed response answers using the strategy of PI. So, when you have an open-ended question that requires you to use evidence to support your response, a surefire strategy that will work every time is PI. Here's what you should do to prepare to use PI. First of all, you should get really clear about what the question is asking you. Next, use the text or the video or the image to find the correct answer to the question. Sometimes this will require you to make an inference. Sometimes the answer isn't right there in the text. You have to use clues to come up with the correct response. And finally, find some evidence to support your response. So in writing an answer to a constructed response question using PI, the first thing you should do is state your point. The P in PI stands for point. So what I'm looking for here is for you to echo the question. I'm looking for you to actually take some language from the question to start your answer. The next thing you should do is state your claim and actually answer the question. The I in PI stands for illustrate. Here is where you should use some evidence from the source to support your claim. Some examples of evidence or illustrations you might use are quotes, examples, either personal or hypothetical, and maybe even some data or statistics. If you are using a quote, this side of the slide is really important. You must have a quote lead-in. In that lead-in, I'm looking for a citation. So here you need to give me the title of the book or the article or the film or the image. If it makes sense to give me a page number or paragraph, you should do that too. The next thing I'm looking for is context. Please explain what's happening in the story when you pull this quote. If you're quoting an article or an image or a film, give me the gist of that part that you're referring to. Finally, I want to know who said this or who did this. So be really clear about which character you're talking about. If you're quoting an article, an image, or a film, please give me the author or the name of the artist or perhaps even the filmmaker. The E in PI stands for explain. So here, you need to tell the reader how your illustration supports your point. And over here, I've given you some language frames to support you to do this. So let's look at how this sounds all together. If I have a question such as this one, what does Walter mean when he says, damn my eggs? I'm going to actually take this language from the question and use it to start my answer. So I'll say, when Walter says, damn my eggs, now I need to make a point. And in this case, I had to use some clues from the text to make an inference. So my answer is, he means that he is really frustrated with the way his life has turned out so far. Now, I decided to use a quote as an illustration. So since I'm using a quote, I need a lead-in. So the first thing I need to do is provide a citation. I need to tell my reader where I got this quote from. So I start by saying, in scene 1 of A Raisin in the Sun. Next, I need to give some context. What's happening in this part? So the context is, when Ruth does not support his idea of using Mama's money to purchase a liquor store. Now I need to know who said it. In this case, it's Walter. So I say, Walter says, and then I pull my quote. I'm 35 years old. I've been married 11 years, and I got a boy who sleeps in the living room, and all I got to give him is stories about how rich white people live. Now I need to explain how this quote supports my claim that Walter is feeling really frustrated. So I say, this shows that Walter is reflecting with frustration and therefore yells when Ruth continues to ask him to eat his eggs. I hope that this example has helped you to write great constructed response answers of your own. If not, please feel free to come and ask more questions. Thank you.